My name is Christian DeLucia. I'm a professor in the Department of Clinical and School Psychology in the College of Psychology at NSU. And I've been here in a few days. It will be my 18th year anniversary, so I've been here a while now. And my PhD is in clinical psychology, and I do research in the area of recovery from substance use disorders. And over the years, I've functioned in this department as a stats methods person, which means that I sort of teach the classes in those areas, and I provide statistical and methodological consultation to colleagues and graduate students and yeah, folks outside of the university as well. And yeah, and I publish papers related to all of those topics: recovery from substance use disorders. I have some papers that focus on methodology, statistics, those kinds of topics. So I started my career at a local university, and I was there for about a year. And I realized quickly that that position was not a very good fit for me. And at the time, NSU had a job posting for someone who sort of fit my skill set very nicely. And so I thought, oh, this is an interesting, sort of fortuitous opportunity. I didn't know much about NSU. I knew next to nothing about NSU, actually. But I thought, well, it's a local university, so I applied to the job. And then, over the course of being interviewed and spending some time here, I learned a little bit about the program, its history, some of my, colleagues' backgrounds, and it seemed like a good fit for me. And now I've been here 18 years, and I could say it's been a very good fit for me. I teach classes, I like to teach, I do the research I like to do. Over the years, I've had lots of opportunities to mentor students and to sort of fill important roles in their professional development. And so that's all, it's been a well-rounded and sort of meaningful set of work experiences for me. I've got great, I've got great colleagues, like I've got some really good friends. My wife is on faculty here, but I've got some really good friends that I've made over the years, and I've got former students who have become like really good friends that I'm in regular contact with, and so yeah, it's been a great experience. So when I was an undergrad, I had a couple faculty members who really sort of took an interest in me. I think they saw some potential in me as a researcher and a scientist, and so I got to work closely with them. At the time, I was surrounded by cognitive psychologists, and so I was doing research in the area of memory, which I wasn't sort of inherently interested in, but oftentimes as an undergrad, you seize upon the opportunities available to you and you sort of make the most of them. But learning from those professors in those early days was really impactful. And one of them ended up becoming like my primary mentor, a guy named Kevin Saylor, he's at Lehman College City University of New York. He became a really good friend and has really sort of been a guiding sort of force in my, career pretty much the whole time, certainly more specifically in my early career. So I would say as an undergrad, those experiences were very helpful. And then once I got here, I think when you think about being a professor and you think about teaching, you sort of think about the experience in a one-sided manner, like I'm here to impart my knowledge on the students. And I guess the thing that surprised me is how much I've learned from the students over the years, and just how much of an influence they've had on me, And these are sort of general students in my classes, but also the students that I've mentored that have, done their directed studies with me, if they're PsyD students, or the PhD students where I've mentored their dissertation projects. And I really see a lot of issues very differently today, given my experiences with the students over the years. I have a couple funny stories. I'll tell you a story. You might have to edit this out, actually. But several years ago, I was undergoing like a workup for a cardiac issue, and so I was wearing a monitor. And I had given a midterm. It was a stats midterm, and the cohort did not so well on the midterm. And so when I gave the exam back, I was wearing the monitor, and I got into this exchange with the class where they got a little heated and I got a little heated, and later, when I was with my cardiologist, she was looking at the printout and she was like, "What was happening between 9:30 and 10 on Friday morning?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I was yelling at a bunch of students over poor performance." But that cohort, we sort of bonded and we repaired, and they ended up becoming a really great cohort, and we had some great experiences. I actually hosted a lunch for that cohort a few months later where I cooked all the food, and like 20 or 30 of us got a chance to just hang out for an hour and a half and eat and tell funny stories. But in general, I think in the classroom, my favorite moments are when students start to make connections that hadn't been there before. I appreciate the process that students go through. Like sometimes the learning doesn't happen in the moment, or it doesn't happen right when you want it to. So I do appreciate when students are engaged and they continue to ask questions, even though they might be struggling to understand a difficult concept. I sort of appreciate that process, and I appreciate having the opportunity to sort of be a part of that process and to help facilitate learning.